You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show with the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. We do not have any new callers today, but we got Dakota. What's going on, nerd?
Hey, Ryan, what's up? This is Dakota, that nerd in Tennessee.
What's up, dude?
And, I don't know, I'm a lot behind. I'm always behind.
Sorry.
This is the time where you start to get behind, and I struggle to not be behind for several months until people stop wanting to go to parks. Anyway, so we've had a lot of folks, yourself included, talking about how all of this news, oh dear Lord, excuse me, all this news and all this information we're getting about the coaches and how everything is going down there and how the players perceive them, you know, it's not very positive. And I want to reiterate, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again, and I've stole it absolutely from one Mr. Chris from Alabama, but I will always be a positive.
Oh, man, what is this? I'm really sorry to interrupt you. Statement from... See, this is why I frickin'... You know, I go and leave. This is what I said. I leave for an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is. I come back and statement from the Commissioner Goodell on the passing of former Packers president and CEO Bob Harlan. The entire NFL family mourns the loss of longtime Green Bay Packers CEO Bob Harlan. Bob restored the Packers' tradition of excellence, winning a Super Bowl and renovating Lambeau Field. Also contributing substantially to our league, helping ensure that all our cities, large or small, could be successful. Bob came to Green Bay in 1971 and never left, spending more than half a century in his beloved community. Our thoughts are with his family. Really sorry to interrupt you. I'm scrolling, like, did anything happen? Any news? Ay. Anyways, I apologize.
Another trucker, you know, I try not to cuss. Maybe your kids will listen to this. I'm not sure. Anyway, always, I like to stay positive. I like that Matt LaFleur is one of the winningest coaches. I enjoy the fact that people that want to hate on the team just in general as a whole at all times hate when people say that phrase, and it just brings me joy. But I like that. But there are many things that have been irking me, and I haven't heard anybody talk about like Brian Gutekunst's presser, other than when y'all just mentioned his presser and the things that he said. But he literally said that yeah, it would be nice, I guess, if the offensive line could stay in their one spot, but that they need to play the position that he tells them to play.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that irked or pissed anybody else off. But several years ago, I'm relatively new to football, man. I started watching in 2016.
Okay.
Right. So I'm a little slow to learn. Football's kind of complicated and everybody uses different terminologies, whatever. But one thing I remember from a few years ago was learning that, you know, there's many different types of coaches, but in this scenario, there's two types of coaches. There's the ones that fit their scheme to their players and allow their players to play the best game they can. Or there's the ones that try to force their players into a specific scheme that they want to run. And that's no bueno, sir. Mr. Goody, sir. Okay? No, we don't want to do that. You don't have a robotics. I'm running out of time. Hold on.
Yeah, we'll get to part two, and I'm sorry I've been butchering your call. There's been interruption after interruption. I'm going to stop looking at news, and then on top of that, had the kids tell me about something. First of all, I mean, it is kind of out of his control. That all is going to be delegated to the coaching staff, which is upsetting. And there is an element of, look, in a perfect world, X, Y, and Z, but you got to man up and do your job, and I get that too. You know what I mean? If there's injuries or whatever the case. But I do hope there's that other side of it where we need to do everything we can to prioritize this guy is our left tackle in the same way that we would never move David Bakhtiari. You know what I mean? It would have to be a frickin' apocalyptic event to have Bakhtiari move to another position. We need to have that level of priority of saying, look, Jordan Morgan is our left tackle, and that's it. He is not our freaking guard. He's not a right guard. He's not a left guard. He's not a center. He's not a right tackle. He is our left tackle. If some kind of tragic, horrific event takes place, then I guess we have to do it. But I would rather go out in free agency and get some scrub and put him in at guard because Morgan is our left tackle. And we need to, and here's the other thing. It's one thing if it's a guy like Elton Jenkins or even a guy like Zach Tom, which of course I would never want to move Zach Tom, and we shouldn't have moved Elton Jenkins. But it's one thing if they're established. It's another thing when we have a first and second round pick that have not even established themselves. They have not proven that they can even play at a competent level. They are on the verge of becoming busts as entire picks. Do you know how valuable these guys are to our franchise if they end up being hits? We have to do every single thing in our power to lock them into that position. We have to get the best coaching staff we can possibly get, from the head coach to the offensive coordinator and, yes, the offensive line coach, because the difference between hits and misses in those two players, a first and second round pick at left tackle and right guard, is massive. And we got to stop playing this frickin' patty cake bull crap with, well, you know, maybe. Bull crap, maybe. Bull crap. We have to invest heavily. In the offseason, it is drilling. It is, here is how to make you a perfect, Belton, here's how we're going to craft your body from your diet to your workout to the tape that we send you to the playbook. Everything is how to be an elite right guard in Matt LaFleur's offense with Josh Jacobs as your running back. We want you guys working, collaborating. We're talking constantly. This idea that we can just kind of go, I don't know. Here's how to play 5 different positions. Make sure you're versed in all these because we want you to be bull crap. This is the same thing I said about, what's his name? Was it Travis Hunter? Oh, yeah, he can be an elite wide receiver and an elite corner and all the bull crap, dude. Do you know how hard it is to be good at any one of these things? The idea that he's going to learn your offensive and defensive playbook and lock in on both of those and be elite on both of those. By the way, you're cutting his entire lifespan of being on your team in half. This is so stupid. It's so stupid. The guy is an elite talent. Give him one job and let him be elite at it. You're ruining what is a gift. Jordan Morgan, Gutekunst picked him for a reason. A very specific reason, because he has a very specific, presumably very gifted skill set. He's a very talented football player. Don't ruin this. You get one shot to get this right, and so many guys bust. To treat that cavalierly, to simply be flippant about these things as though, yeah, we can make him good in any position. Bull crap. You've got maybe a 50% shot of him even being good at left tackle. You need to frickin' lock in and make it work. So yeah, I get it. Sometimes stuff happens and you got to be a man and suck it up and do your job. I agree. But that should be much more of a I don't even want to say low priority. That should be something that is, it is a devastating thing if we have to move him off there. And that's not the vibe I'm getting from the Packers. The vibe I get from the Packers, and especially the Packers coaching staff, is we value versatile players, and so we want to cross-train everybody. And okay, but here's the problem. Everybody freaking sucks, dude. Everybody is booty stank, all right, on that offensive line. Because you want them to be good at 5 different positions, you jag off. Let's start with 1, okay? 1. Well, what happens if the left guard goes down? Then we're going to have to, well, then we'll figure it out. But what good is it to have 5 or 4 bad offensive linemen But at least he can go to left guard and be bad there too, you stupid frickin' people. Dakota part 2.
Yeah, Goody. Back to this. You don't have a robotic assembly line, okay? You don't have this crazy assembly line to build you a car from scratch. You have a bag of hammers and what are those things that turn? Frickin' screwdrivers. There we go. You got a bag of hammers and screwdrivers. So you're going to try to build yourself a frickin' Ford Bronco. I hate that car. I don't know why I said that one. But you're going to try to build yourself that vehicle. Or
it's a good escape
with the hammers and the screwdrivers you got. Or are you going to try to put together a covered wagon and get from point A to point B and just get it done? I understand that we would probably prefer to have a Hellcat for a team instead of a covered wagon and whatever. But I'm talking about functionality. You can't build a car with hammers and screwdrivers. You can't do it. You got to use what you have and build what you can. Right. And if you're just not that good at drafting certain things, guess what? You're never going to draft a robotic assembly line because you're just not that good at it. So deal with what you have. And then when you suck for long enough, we'll replace you and get a different GM that can help draft better. Okay? That's just kind of like the circle of life. Anyway, I'm sure.
This reminds me too, I keep hammering this, the idea of explosive plays. Well, if teams that are, when you're more explosive, you're a better offense. So let's just force explosivity and then we'll be better. No, you stupid jagoff. You need to be a better offense. Okay? You need to be that first. You can't just force this like, well, now we're just explosive all the time and therefore we're good. So we just throw the ball 25 yards down the field every single play because explosive plays and that's how you win and stuff, says math. It's the same thing with this stuff. Well, versatile is better, right? Yes, in a perfect world, if they could do it, it would be better. The problem is it's not working. Do you remember when we drafted Rashawn Gary and it was, I don't remember the exact thing, but it was like, we need to start him one step at a time. This is when we had Mike Smith, so we probably just need smarter coaches. But the whole thing with him was, we're going to teach him one thing. And we're going to make him very good at that one thing. And that's it. And then we'll see. We'll build from there. And that's what they did. And Rashawn Gary went on to be because he was a down defensive end. And it's like, well, look, we got to start simple. We got to teach him how to stand up and rush. This is baby steps, man. We didn't bring in Rashawn Gary and we're like, all right, dude, we're going to line you up over the middle and we're going to have you start inside and outside and stand up and hand in the dirt and linebacker and frickin' blitzing safety and all. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? Let's start simple. And if you can do that, then we'll try to add more on your plate. And then if you can do that, then you get your versatile lineman. It doesn't make sense to say, let's just frickin' slap them all over the place and then we can just use the word versatile and now we're better because versatile is a part of our frickin' plan. Like, I feel like you know the right things, but you have no idea how to implement any of them. I know that versatile is better, and I know that explosive is better, and I know these things, and so I just force these things and then better. No!
I had other things to say. I just kind of went on with that one. But I hadn't heard anybody. I might have missed it. Like I said, I'm not able to keep up with all of my podcasts at this moment. I'm quite inundated with responsibilities, but dude, ever since he said that, I've just been on a downward spiral of what are these people doing?
Man, I hate that we're in this spot, but we are all on the same page here, it seems. And I'm sure it's not. There are people that are not calling in, or maybe there's some calls coming or whatever. By the way, if you are not in despair, please call in. And maybe despair is a little harsh. But, it's one of those things. It's not just me. It's not that I'm just reading into this wrong. We're all seeing the same thing and just having this feeling of, man, what are we doing? Like, even I haven't hardly had any time to look into it. Again, I just I saw it before I left and then I got home. But unless I'm missing something, this Xavier McKinney thing is making me nervous. Why are we so aggressive in cutting and pushing his money out? Unless, as callers have called in concerned about, we plan on doing nothing. We're going to bring everybody back, and we need that money. So we're going to free up money with frickin' Xavier McKinney, which, by the way, haven't seen the details, but usually that means you'll be here for like 2 years, and then after that, we pretty much have to let you go. I don't want Xavier McKinney in that position because I'd like him to be here for as long as he can contribute. So, I mean, it has been months of everything they've done is at best not exactly what I would have done. But you're right. It's a nonstop barrage of just like, what is this? I don't like that. Why did you say that? What the heck does that mean? How did you not know? Look at the grades. Blah, 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 blah. It's one thing after the other of just feel. And I hate this feeling because I always loved, and I know negative fans are just basically saying welcome to the party because they've always felt this way. But I've always loved feeling like, man, we are just a part of this hyper-competent organization. And we are off to a rough start because I've seen what competent organizations do, and we've all seen what incompetent organizations do. And I'm really uncomfortable with how familiar this looks as far as what the incompetent people do. Maybe not like super incompetent, but always those things where it's like, these stupid idiots. Like, you can't do anything wrong. Like, everything's stupid. Nobody wants to be there. This is a disaster. Everything's going wrong. Not much has happened, and there's still plenty of time for bigger things to happen, and we'll see what's happening. But every day that goes by is like, I don't like anything right now. I like nothing that has happened.
Why would you not fire Rich Bisaccia? Why would you hire Anchor or whatever his name is?
No.
He's not. He doesn't have evidence that he's good. If I went into an interview for anything, for a promotion, for a transfer, for anything, with the same level of accomplishments that he has had within his little group, I would get laughed out of it. I would not get accepted. I have to be better than all other applicants in order to get my transfer promotion. Why can we not, why is this different for the NFL?
No.
We're just trying to be a group of good guys? Because that's not going to handle it.
Right.
Okay, sorry, I'm getting into the realm you've already covered. Anyway, I'll stop. Peace. Have a nice one.
Yeah, there's another Dakota call after this. We'll get to that after the break, but I'm with you on the nice guy thing. I'm really getting tired of that. And I know there's more to it. I mean, it's obviously much more than just, he's a good guy. That's just a big part of we want to make sure you fit our culture, and I do understand that. But I remember when they hired Matt LaFleur, and I've used this example numerous times. When they hired him, all they talked about was he fits our culture. He's a great guy. He's going to fit in great. Like, they just went on and on and on and on and on. And anytime the media asked him, like, yeah, but didn't he suck in Tennessee? They looked at him like he was from another planet. Like, why are you asking about his qualifications and how good of a coach he is? Like, what a stupid question. And Gutekunst would just kind of brush it off as yeah, I mean, the quarterback was hurt, and the tight end that was like a focal point of the offense got hurt. So I'm not worried about that. Anyways, great dude, great. He's going to fit our culture. And it made me super upset because it's like, bro, why are you so fixated on these characteristics that I don't care about? And you seem confused when the media asks you about the stuff that does matter. It's like, it's so weird. And every time we hire anybody, that's what they want to talk about. He's a great guy. He embodies our culture and all that stuff. It's like, good. You know what I would love to hear? I would love to hear the description of these guys the way we describe them. He's a young up-and-comer. This guy is 39 years old. He's got the best, still in front of him. You have no idea how gifted this guy is. When we get into a room with him, he blows our freaking socks off. I understand that, this, that, or the other, things started to go south. That was because of the play. That was, we did extensive, make me feel good about this hire. We did extensive research into that because that concerned us too. When I saw they went from 1st to 17th to 20th to 28th, and then he got fired, and then he goes somewhere else and gets fired again. Yeah, that made us uncomfortable too, but trust me, this guy comes from the Bill Belichick school. He's a young guy. He is a brilliant mind. And what we've seen from him is, number one, he knows what needs to happen. Number two, we've identified many things that were not working for us, and we know that he's the guy that can do it. We've seen it. We've talked to him. We love his plan for our special teams. And what we've learned is that as long as you can get this guy the players he needs, he can give you a dominant special team. And now it's up to us to empower him. We need to give him the resources he needs, from the coaching staff to our personnel side, making sure the players are in there for him. And if we can do our part, we know he'll do his part. We never hear that kind of stuff from them. It's always just, oh, we love him, and he's just such a great guy, and everybody loves him, and I don't give a damn, dude. I'm sorry, I don't care. I mean, there's a part of me that, it's kind of like they say when you hire a lawyer or whatever, you want him to be a freaking jerk, just an absolute killer that everybody hates him. That's what you want. Like, I'm not saying he needs to be a bad guy. I want the coaches to get along with him and everything, but so what if he's a little bit of freaking rough around the edges? Good. Does he get results is all I care about. Why is this so hard to understand? This is like a corporation, bro. And we're your shareholders, and all we care about is profit. Do you understand me? I just care about profit. And in the NFL, when I say profit, I'm talking about success. I'm talking about results. That's all I give a damn about. Can you imagine hiring a CEO and like the company goes down in the freaking tubes and everything's bad? And it's like, why'd you hire this guy? And it's like, oh, he's a nice guy. And like I met him at a supper club and we went out and we had drinks and we share the same hobbies and Are you freaking brain dead? Are you mental? Why would I invest money in you? I'm pulling my money out immediately because you're an idiot. I don't care. And listen, I just don't want to hear it anymore. I understand it's a piece of the puzzle. It's an important piece of the puzzle, but there's two sides to this. Is he a good fit culturally? And is he a good fit in terms of this guy's a dominant elite coach? Don't tell me about his personality. I'm never going to hang out with the freaking guy, okay? So when you're talking to us, the fans, tell us what we actually care about. Why would I care about his personality? Why would I care? I don't care. None of us care. You think there's a single fan on planet Earth that's sitting around going, yeah, I mean, he's doing a good job, but is he nice? Is he getting along with Matt LaFleur? Who cares? I don't care if they hate each other as long as they're getting results. You understand me? Let's take a break.
Hey, Ryan, Dakota, that nerd in Tennessee. I keep hearing you said it on multiple occasions, but you say that nobody ever actually wanted or was screaming for T. Higgins. I guess I wasn't screaming for T. Higgins. You know what? I did want T. Higgins. I didn't know he was going to be as good as he was. Sure. And I don't think that getting him instead of whoever it was that we got would have gotten us a Super Bowl. Because, I mean, really? That would be stupid of me to think so. However, I did want T. Higgins. I also wanted Denzel Mims. Mm-hmm. So, you know, every so often, I luck into a guy. Anyway, all right, that's all I wanted to say. That's it. Peace.
Yeah, fair enough. Good on you. If that was your thing, I'm just going based off. I mean, obviously, you can go through that entire list. Everybody had somebody that was like, that's our guy. I'm just going based off of the consensus. I very much remember Mims was that dude we got to get. And I listed several of the others. As far as, from my recollection, what I was hearing Packer fans talk about. And I very distinctly remember a lot of those guys that I talked about. Of course, there's going to be a couple that wanted T. Higgins, a couple that wanted, Brandon Ayuk was another one. Again, he's gone. And I think the Packers mentioned they really did want him, which is a shame that, whatever. But, I mean, it just, the guy was Mims. And we were wrong. And that was, it just bothers me that it's like, the fan base gets it unbelievably wrong. The team actually got it very right in this situation of getting Jordan Love, obviously. But then some people still have the audacity to come back and say, first of all, disregard my 7 other prospects that I wanted desperately. Second of all, let's downplay what an unbelievable success it's been that you got Jordan Love. Against very against the grain and putting your job on the line for sure. And then third, I'd like you to look at the one guy, not the 7 that failed, the one guy that was successful, who was like number 8 on my list of wants. But I'm going to pretend it was number 1 on my list. I don't mean you, Dakota. I want to pretend that this was the obvious pick, and everybody knew that this was the guy. And then I want everyone to be mad at Gutekunst. Like, bro, you have to twist yourself into a frickin' pretzel to make that make any sense. You are stupid. Shut up. And I know there are better examples, like have been talked about before with the center situation where that was somebody that everybody wanted, or not everybody, but it was that was one of the popular ones, and he went a pick later. Like, I get all that stuff. But the T. Higgins one bothers me in particular because of the mental gymnastics people do. And because I was alive in that moment, and I specifically remember the names of the people that the Packer fans wanted us to get, and how many of them are absolute failures, not to mention how many people, myself included, that were furious that we drafted Jordan Love, and how absolutely stupid we were for being, upset about that. Just needs to be a shred of humility here when we go back and judge some of these missed picks. When we cherry pick, yeah, but what about that one? Yeah, bro, I don't know. I don't freaking know. But I don't really understand the point of this exercise, because you could do this with everybody, and I don't know why this needs to be the thing. Especially since, again, I'm not even trying to defend Gutekunst at this point. I'm actually kind of on the other side of it. It's just the arguments against him are so often so very stupid that I just have to be like, that's not how we should be doing this. That's not why I'm upset with him, like, at all.
Yo, Brian, it's your uncle.
Yo.
Just listen to the pod. It's Tuesday night, and listen to After Dark. I think the latest one, and so some of us are bad mouthing Matt LaFleur, and dude, y'all playing with fire. Chris is gonna rip some asshole if we're not careful. Jeez. Don't piss him off, okay?
Right.
Okay. Anyway, curious. I keep hearing about this survey or whatever players filled out about coaches. Was that a league-wide thing?
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know where to find this information. I guess I really haven't looked, but so the players gave Packer coaches, some Packer coaches, all Packer coaches, I don't know, bad grades. Is it in like certain categories? Was it like in leadership and
no?
And I don't know. Yeah, that's what I was curious. How those grades worked, or was it just one grade, like coach, good coach, 1 through 1 to 5, and he got all 3s or 2s or what? I'm not sure how it works, but I'm thinking that there should be turnabout, though, that if players get to rate the coaches, that maybe the coaches should rate the players. And I'm pretty sure that there'd be a lot of bad grades. Me as head coach, I'm going to rate all my players a freaking 1 because you suck a lot of the time, that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Are they giving coaches a bad grade because maybe they're giving him a bad grade because he's screaming in their face all the time to do their job and they don't do it. And they're like, oh, he screams at me, I'm giving him a bad grade. Or is there actual, you know what I'm saying, this info, or are we just running with something here because we're not happy with the results? The players are crying because they're not happy with the results when a lot of it is their fault. I'd like a little bit of clarity on this, but I don't know where to look exactly. Does anyone know? All right, Jen. Rico out. Have a great day.
Well, you're not going to get that information because, the whole thing was, first of all, it's not that granular. And second of all, it was meant to never come out, but immediately got leaked. So it's all hidden and nobody's supposed to talk about it. So it's possible that because the season went poorly, they were a little bit pissy about things. But again, the Rich Bisaccia thing just kind of pissed me off. And the fact that, at the end of the day, whether it's justified or not, the players are not super big fans of the coaching staff. And maybe it's just because the players are a bunch of whiny babies, but still not good. And you got to figure out a way to kind of get back in their good graces because that's a problem. And got to fix that.
Yo, it's Rico again.
Yo.
I just thought of something about Coach being the boss. My brother-in-law, he's a real loser. He, my battery might go dead here too, so if it does, sorry. Anyway, he gets this job at this company running a machine because he tells them he went to school. He did go to school, but he didn't learn anything because he's a special. Anyway, he tells him he can run this machine. Well, as it turns out, he can't run this machine, so they give him another job. And the simplest job in the whole factory. It's a monkey could do it type of job, but they didn't cut his pay. They kept paying him the machinist pay, which I thought, well, that's pretty cool for him. I mean, but he just kept coming home, bitching and complaining all the time. And one day he's complaining, man, this guy at work, he keeps telling me what to do all day, man. And I'm like, what guy? My boss, man. So that's, I wonder, is that what's going on with the players that are given bad grades? The boss keeps telling them what to do, and they don't know what to do, so they're going to give them a bad grade? Is that what's going on? Or, you know what I'm getting at. All right, then. Rico out.
Yeah, and again, it's entirely possible, but it still signals something negative. We're going into this season with some negativity between the players and the coaching staff. It doesn't sound like there was a great relationship within the coaching staff. Again, the whole thing with Bisaccia leaving, and it seems like a lot of people knew, but Matt LaFleur was kind of shocked by it and caught off guard. That shouldn't happen. Should have been some open dialogue there, but apparently there wasn't, and that kind of makes sense considering apparently Rich Bisaccia doesn't want to be there anymore, and the assistant coach kind of thought that there would be an opening there in Green Bay and decided to book it for frickin' Cleveland because he thought that would be a much better place to work. He talked to the coaches and like, wow, I really would love to work here. So again, all of this is kind of problematic and I think is something they need to urgently address. I don't know what it means, and it doesn't matter that I don't know what it means. I just know that there's a problem and I know that they need to fix it. So please don't start coming at me with this, well, what's the solution then? If you can't tell me the solution, then you can't do it. Yes, I can. Yes, I freaking can. Okay? Somebody has cancer. I know that needs to be treated. Just because I don't know how to treat it doesn't mean I can't address that it needs to be treated. That whole argument is so stupid. Well, if you can't tell me how you fix it, then you shouldn't be talking. No, I'm going to talk because it's very obvious that it needs to be fixed because I'm not an idiot. And we're not idiots. And we're not going to pretend that we're idiots. Let's take a break.
Hey, Ryan. Beer Chief Benny.
Hello.
First of all, I want to say, I tried listening to the Big Sal or whatever, and I can't do it, man. And here's why. It sounds identical to the comedian Joey Diaz.
What?
Go look up Joey Diaz, man.
What?
Sounds just like him.
No.
I can't do it. I'm like, am I listening to something from the Packernet, or am I listening to Joey Diaz? Like, who's a guy from New Jersey? Like, that's what it reminds me of. I don't know. I can't resonate with it, man. If we can get more of that Wisconsin accent or something like that, if Big Sal could be that, no, I would listen to it.
Big Sal's Big Sal, man. That's never changing. I'm sorry. So I'm sorry you can't do it, but that is Big Sal. So it is what it is. He's obviously a transplant. He's not originally from Peshtigo. Clearly, he's from Jersey and New York or wherever. It's fine. If you want some backstory, we'll get some backstory. We can play that in there. But yeah, no, that's never ever going to change.
It's a great idea, but I'm sorry. It's just that the similarities are just, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Interesting, isn't it? It's weird. It's almost like I had to think of a voice to train the AI with, and I was trying to think of a perfect voice that I felt like would be a good ranting voice, a very masculine, intimidating, kind of a voice that would just be great for ranting, and it's a guy with a deep, raspy, gravelly, I smoke and drink all the time, and I'm in the mafia voice. And I thought of that person and then trained it on that exact voice. Huh. Maybe not. Who knows? Who can know these things?
In terms of Packers, the roster construction, going into this season, and I'm just starting to listen to your episode, the Packers are giving you a weird vibe, and I get that too, and it feels weird. I feel like we're going into this next season with more holes than we've had in a while. Defensive line, we're going to get an injured Micah Parsons back, and who knows if he'll even be back week 1, and that would not be smart if he came back that early.
Right.
The offensive line, it's just, they keep screwing around with it too much. And they draft these guys that are like, oh yeah, he's played tackle his whole life. Well, let's put him at guard. Like, come on, man.
I shouldn't even interrupt with you this, but I'm so tempted. Not that it's up to me. I mean, Big Sal has to make these decisions, obviously. But would it be? Here's I'm just gonna throw this out there. I know some of you are like, I don't like AI. Okay, fine, go freaking be. It's like, hate the internet or something. I get that. For those of you that are enjoying it, would it be entertaining if Big Sal maybe heard Beer Cheese Benny and decided his rant was going to be against Beer Cheese Benny? I'll let that marinate a little bit, but I think that could be kind of funny. Nothing crazy. Just, he's talking trash about Uncle. You think Big Sal's going to take that? I don't think he's going to take that too well. He's kind of a grumpy guy.
And then, coming back to the defensive line thing, it's like, we need to beef it up, man. We need to get guys that are just good football players, man. I'm tired of this relative athletic score, and I get that sometimes it translates, but dude, just get a guy that can freaking get to the quarterback. I don't care, he's fast, dude. Oh, that's cool. But yeah, he's fast, but he doesn't do anything with the speed. And he can't shed blocks. And, we just need to have a balanced, run defense and getting to the quarterback. And, you get to find Devontae Wyatt back and all that. And I think that's going to be great. And, you hope that he can keep what he had. But there's so many questions, man. And especially our secondary. It's just so questionable. Our safeties are fine. I think our safeties are great. And I don't have any worries about that. But, outside of that, I really don't know, man. And if we can just take the pressure off of Jordan Love, granted he's good under pressure. If we can figure out this O-line, get Tucker Kraft back, and just get Golden more involved, I think we're going to be fine. But as far as I'm concerned, the Packers aren't going to be very good this next year. I think they win 9-10 games, maybe even miss the playoffs. So, go Pack, go.
Yeah, we'll let it play out. Let's see how it plays out. But obviously, as mentioned, I agree on the offensive line thing. It's a little bit annoying, and Gutekunst has got to find players. Like you said, don't care if his RAS is a 10 or a 6, as long as the guy can freaking play football. Do whatever you got to do, Gutekunst. I mean, it's up to you. If you want all 10s, get all 10s, but they better be good at football. And you guys got to figure some stuff out because, it doesn't even need to be said why. I mean, it's freaking obvious why. I don't know. It's upsetting even that the calls are this way. It's upsetting that this is. I'm not trying to say I don't want the calls to be this way because I'm not. It's upsetting that this is where we're at. In the same way that if we were, a 2-win team, it would be upsetting. That's just reality. It's reality that this is where we are right now. And again, it's mostly overreacting because nothing has really happened. I mean, we lost 5 games in a row. That sucks. And then nothing. And we won't know until next year what ends up actually happening. But it would just be cool if there was any kind of assurances. Give us some kind of false hope here that things are going to be great. But every word that they say, everything that happens is just like, this is not my favorite thing. I don't know. Dakota, what's up, man?
What's up, Ryan? Dakota, that nerd in Tennessee. Once again. So I wanted to put some space between my calls because I didn't want me to be there like a million times. And I guess I'm doing what Benny said he didn't want to do, which was do a bunch of calls because he talks about like a million things at once. But then I ramble on about the same thing. I don't know.
It's all good.
Point of this call, dude, Big Sal, man, this is one of the reasons why I don't care for the idea of AI. Because I want him to be real. Like, he reminds me, in college, a friend of mine wanted to buy a car. And he ended up buying this, like, stick shift Dodge Rampage, I think it was, or whatever the Dodge version of the El Camino is. Anyway, we went, and we went to this, like, gravel used car parking lot. And I mean, you walked into the office and it smelled like the folks that worked there been smoking cigarettes. The gentleman behind the desk, like the owner, he went by, I can't even remember his name, but his nameplate said Big Daddy. And next to his nameplate was a picture of his really adorable and really small daughter. And he was just a massive mountain of a man. And I mean, the whole room smelled like cigarettes. Everybody in there smoked cigarettes and cigars at all dang times. It was a phenomenal place. And that's who I think of when I hear Big Sal talk, 'cause that's what this man sounded like. He was like the dude was an avatar of a bygone people that used to live that we only see in movies now.
Right.
Anyway, I'm sad that Big Sal is not real. I do have a question for you though. Like those stories that your Big Sal man is talking about, all of his friends and whatnot. Like, do you come up with those, or do you tell like AI be like, "Hey man, I want you to create this really affable big dude," and just he cracks me up, and it's a problem because he's not real. And, okay, it's my existential crisis, not yours. Anyway, do you come up with like the characters? Are they based off of real people? Do you just tell the AI to be an affable dude? I mean, it's freaking funny. I want it to not be AI. And that's my question. I guess is do you feed them like the AI the stories? If not, dude, AI is getting ridiculous, man. And I know it's got so far to go. Anyway, dude, peace out.
Well, let me just put it this way. It's kind of a balance of, like, you know, the stories, there needs to be some level of continuity, but at the same time, it kind of doesn't really matter, you know, if he has 900 neighbors, you know, but, you know, eventually the neighbors start to become a part of the stories and all that kind of stuff. I did make sure, you know, I'm trying to make sure that the family, you know, he has a wife and this is her name, and he has a daughter who's 11 and this is her name. Just so that there's some level of continuity in these things. So it's not completely stupid. You know, I mean, I get what you're saying, and I want it to be something that we all, you know, like a massively, Tremaine Edmonds released a massively upgraded version of the cricket, or the dance parties, or, you know, the 3-minute monster, or any of these little things that the are kind of a thing with the podcast. They're not real. They're just kind of funny little things that we do. I see Big Sal as kind of an upgraded version of that. It's a character that can become real. That, you know, I know it's weird because it's not, but like I said, in the same way that the cricket and all that stuff becomes real in a sense, you know, and I kind of want to bring that to life a little bit, which is why I want the continuity in there. I want there to be relatable things. You know, you get to this absurd level of liking and appreciating not only Sal, but his wife and how she acts, and, you know, the neighbors and all that guy that he keeps talking about, and the little quirks, you know, he keeps talking about his every day, his coffee, and even like the way that he doesn't use contractions. At first I was like, why are you doing that? I don't understand. But now I'm like, you know what? That's just a him thing now. I don't know why that's a thing, but it's not like it's you are. It's not can't, it's cannot. No idea why, but that's a thing now. And I'm like, you know what? Let's keep that. So again, I know it's not for everybody or whatever, and I get that. That's fine. But like I said, I was trying to dig around and find characters. And, my first thought was to do a debate show that I thought would be hilarious, to have like an ultra positive kind of like hippie kind of thing, and then like the really angry whatever. I think that would maybe be a little bit too much, just from a cost standpoint on my side, because this does cost, believe it or not, it does cost money. So hopefully you guys like it at least somewhat. Otherwise, it doesn't become financially viable. I'm just losing money, but to kind of have the back and forth or whatever. We'll see. We'll see how things go. But, I like the idea of these fun, relatable is not the right word. It's people that you get to know and appreciate and like and all that stuff.
Breaking news. I'm listening to Big Sal talk about Aaron Jones. Apparently Chris Brooks gets a 2-year deal for $4.85 million. Weird. This is Jared, the Uber driver. Go Pack, go.
Yeah, well, I mean, fortunately, that was such a low price. That's an RB3 price. So we'll leave the option for Aaron Jones out there, but I think we all can safely say that's probably not going to happen, especially since we still have a running back that you have to assume we're going to want to play at some point or something. I have no idea what's going on with that. All right, everybody. Well, I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all the calls getting in. Let me know about the beer cheese thing. I don't know. We don't need to do that, but I thought it would be kind of funny to have a little back and forth. Not saying having them answer the call, but just kind of hey, I heard frickin' beer cheese talking trash on the show the other day. Let me tell you something, Packers fans. I think it'd be funny. Beer cheese, you let me know if you think that would be funny. I don't know. Just a thought. This is obviously very experimental, and I want to see where we can go with this. All right, I have to go do tomorrow's podcast. So again, I appreciate all of you. The calls have been flooding in, and I love it. Please keep them coming. Talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.